city on the verge of greatness. A new type of city, based not on the man, but on the automobile. The car, the symbol of freedom and vitality. Where every man can own his own home, and have room to breathe, and not be overlooked by his neighbors. The city where a man's home is his castle. A quarter acre of the dream made possible by victory. The city of opportunists. The city of dreams, where Hollywood will shape the thoughts and desires of the entire planet. The city of pioneers. A city of dreamers. A city of undercurrents, where not everything is as it seems. A 20th century city that will become a model for the world. A city that has no boundaries, that will stretch as far as the eye can see. In the Marine Corps, you deal with the chain of command. Mistakes get made, but you deal with them. You know what you're fighting for and that you're on the same team. But dealing with corruption is like chasing shadows. You never know whether the guy you're talking to is on the pad, or whether it's your partner, or maybe even the watch commander. So who do you trust, Cole? I made up my mind a long time ago.
KGBL calling caller 14 Adam. 14 Adam, come in.
Go ahead, KGPL.
14 Adam, see the detective, an ambulance shooting at 6th and Industrial Street. Unit 16 William requests uniformed assistance for an evidence search. 14 Adam, code 2.
Roger, 14 Adam en route.
Hi guys, and welcome to LA Noire, a new series for me, and I'm just trying to get the sound levels right, so I do apologise if anything's a bit quiet or a bit too loud. I'll try and get them right for the next video. Now, something else as well, those things that keep popping up about the block scenes and everything, I'm going to figure out a way of stopping those from coming up on the next one. I thought I'd turned all notifications off, apart from trophies, so yeah, I'll have to look at that for the next one. I'll go quiet now just for this small cutscene, and then I'll be back afterwards.
Floyd Rose, homicide. You might back up?
Yes, sir. Phelps and Dunn, Wilshire Division.
We had a shooting took place down this alleyway. We have the Vic, Scooter Payton, a Negro male bagged up and on his way to Central Morgue. Witness says a tall white guy, our shooter, put 2 in the Vic's head and then threw his piece. I need you guys to try and recover the gat.
You want us to look anywhere in particular?
Give it your best shot, guys. The dead guy's a lowlife. I'm not expecting any miracles here.
And if we recover the weapon?
Bag it and return it to technical services.
You hurry it up, Floyd. We
I'm
got
outta
places
here.
to be.
Happy hunting.
Now, for those of you that don't know what LA Noire
This is a fist
it's
going
a game
through
by
the motions.
Rockstar Games, you know,
Probably
make
right.
GTA,
Let's just get it
etc.
over and done.
And it was done a number of years
All
ago
right,
on
have it your
PlayStation
way.
3, and I think the
We'll search right up to
360
the
as
back
well.
wall.
If you still don't come
And
up
it's
with
set
anything,
in
come
1940s
find me,
LA,
and we'll talk
and it's
it
done
out.
in the style of the old
Two heads are
40s
always
and
better than
50s
one.
noir films, you know, the Humphrey Bogart detective films, that sort of thing. And this is the remastered version, which came out a couple of weeks ago on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well, I think. I'm assuming, yeah. Well, it's one of my personal favourites, and I've been wanting to replay this for a while, but obviously PS4 doesn't play PS3 games anymore. In fact, no, the originals didn't either, did they? But anyway, and I was quite happy that I found out they were doing the new version, the sort of remastered version. So I thought I'd include it in the channel. Now, it's not normally going to go up on a Friday. This is one that I can get ahead of and just sort of edit ahead of time. So this one will be going up on Saturdays from next week. And this one, well, it's kind of like a long intro, and it's sort of your detective training. And you start off as a beat cop. And you do this, which is kind of like an extended tutorial, and it leads you into, you know, being a detective and going off on your own. But I'll be quiet now.
Could I have a word?
Of course, young man.
I really enjoyed your lecture, Doctor. Psychiatry seems to have a tremendous amount to offer.
Why, thank you. I'm always happy to receive acknowledgement for my work. The mind is the last great mystery in medicine. Are you thinking of specializing, Mr.
Sheldon. Or Courtney Sheldon. I'm only in second year, Doctor. They fast-tracked me a year because of my experience during the war.
Ah.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Battle fatigue and collapse under duress. Can it be helped?
I would say yes, given the right set of circumstances. Trauma forces the mind to close down, retreat in on itself. We try to find ways to unlock the mind again through a combination of therapy and drug treatment. Hypnosis and therapy are powerful tools in the right hands, Sheldon.
I've been to visit some of the guys at the VA hospital. A good friend of mine, he's so far away. It's like he's wandering
You
around.
went through a lot together.
Yes, Doctor.
Give me his details and I'll make a prognosis. I have a number of clinics in Los Angeles, Courtney Sheldon, and your penance for your friend's help is to come and work at one of them in your spare time, with what little spare time a medical student has. Is that a deal?
Is it ever? I can't thank you enough.
I'm not promising a cure, Courtney. I want you to remember that. Every physician has patients that he cannot hope to cure, for whom he can only smooth the path to death.
So yeah, what was I saying? Detective, yeah. So this is like an extended tutorial, and it's about an hour long, all in all. So I've split it into two episodes. So the first part of it will be the first sort of couple of cases, as they call. I mean, they're not really cases, very small, just sort of showing you how to look for evidence, how to interrogate people, and the last part of the tutorial is a bit more involved. Still not too much, not as involved as the actual proper cases. But the sort of first few bits take about half an hour, and then I think the last one was about half an hour, and that's including cutscenes and everything. And with this one, I've not done a great deal of editing with the sort of driving to and from places. One, so you can see my expert driving, yeah, and two, because these are sort of various conversations and things on the way, and I think in the later episodes, if there's no conversation in the sort of car on the way to wherever,
blew his brains out.
I will
Hell of a way to go.
I'll edit the sort of journey there a little bit.
Doesn't really matter how you go once you're gone.
But yeah, this is
Don't get all
definitely one
deep
that I've
on
been
me,
wanting to replay for a while. Like I say, it's sort of done in the open world style of GTA, but there's not so much point in sort of roaming around. There are various things to collect. There's the
I tell you, I'm
newspapers,
jinxed. I always get landed
which you
with
saw,
this
which
crap.
gave you, or gives you sort of background into some of the cases and some of the history of some of the characters as well that you will come across throughout the game. And there's various
We're
different
never going to
outfits and
find
this,
it.
that,
It's
and
a
the other.
waste of time.
But you've just sort of got to go through the motions in this first bit. And one of the things that this did, and it was sort of quite revolutionary at the time, and I'm surprised they didn't do a second one, it used motion capture in it, which is not uncommon for video games now.
Ralph,
but when this one
something
was
on the
done, it
rooftop.
used sort of revolutionary
How the hell did
facial
you see that?
capture. And when
Reflection
you're
in the window.
interrogating people, you have
Looks
to
like it might be
decide
our
whether
weapon.
they're,
Let
you
me
know,
see
they're
if I can
lying,
find a way
whether
up
they're
there.
holding something back, whether they're telling
All
the
right.
truth,
Don't hurt yourself.
judged on the facial expressions and sort of what they're doing. And that takes you through it. But like I say, the next one, the next video is that sort of second case where you will see that more in action with the interrogation. I don't think you see it at all in this one. It's just a case of
The gun's up on the
roaming
roof.
about, looking for evidence and sort of going to a couple of places and teaching you kind of how to play it. But I really do enjoy this game, and you know, it's one that I would recommend as well. If you like, I don't know if you like this sort of thing. It's like I say, it's you know, it's a proper detective game without getting too bogged, you know, without the sort of puzzles and things that quite often come with a lot of detective games. But you do have to look for the evidence, and you've got to figure it out. And when you accuse somebody, you've got to have evidence to back it up as well. And that's where the sort of trick comes in. It is sort of learning what people do when they're lying or holding back, and knowing whether to. So you get good cop, bad cop, or accuse. And to accuse, you have to have evidence, like I said before. But yeah, like I say, good story. I enjoyed the story. I thought it was very good. You basically play as a guy who's sort of been in the war. I think it starts in, this might be 1946.
2 rounds fired.
And he's come back from the war.
Instead of dropping it down a drain, our shooter hoists it up here. Interesting guy.
And yeah, sorry, just going quiet so you could hear him. Yeah, he's come back from the war and joined the police force, and it, you know, it's sort of kind of a typical story in a way, with a lot of it, because obviously it's based on the old noir films, so there are sort of, you know, they've kind of put the cliches in there, but for a reason, if you see what I mean. It's because that's, you know, how these films were done.
Let's take it back to Central.
And it's all about corruption and things like, you know, he's a sort of a straight cop, and you know, there's a lot of corrupt ones, and he ends up trying to take them down.
It's a pretty fancy gun. You know a local gun store?
Sure. There's a place a couple of blocks from here.
And again, I just went quiet then for that. But with this one, like I say, we'll be sort of coming in and out of it because of, you know, because of various cutscenes. But you know, it's still got. You look at it now, and although it looks very nice and shiny, you can still tell it's an older game that's been redone. Sometimes with the way that the characters move.
Are you sure about this? It's not really.
And things like that, but they've done a very nice job sort of remastering it. It does look very nice, and you know, it's not something that sort of puts me off. Now the remastered version, it does come with sort of all the add-ons that were available for it, and I think a couple of new suits as well, because you have various suits that you can wear once you make detective.
It'll be fine, Ralph. You worry.
And so, you know, most of them give you various bonuses, and I can't remember if you do get some straight away. As soon as you make detective, you get some of the DLC ones. And I just can't quite remember whether you have to find the other suits or you get awarded them. You may have to find pieces of them lying around. I can't quite remember, which is sort of kind of, like I say, it's been a long time since I played this, so it may be that you have to search around for pieces of the suit. And like I say, there's those newspapers to find some around crime scenes. Some of them you've got to go looking for them. It's 32, and they will give you backgrounds on various things. But some of the crimes are kind of, if I remember rightly, and I think some of the crimes are loosely based on actual real life events from the time. I think there may be one that resembles the Black Dahlia killing, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, you know, it's going to be fun to find out because it's been that long since I played this.
Go straight through.
I can't remember a lot of it. In fact, I don't think I can remember much of it really. I can remember sort of odds and
should take the next
sods.
right.
But I've played that many games, I could be getting mixed up with something else. But I seem to remember the one that's sort of similar to Black Dahlia, and maybe a couple of others. But we'll find out, you know, as I play the game.
Turn left when you can.
Now you can put the siren on and off. You know, like I say, it's very reminiscent of sort of GTA in a lot of ways. With the way that the cars handle. The fact, you know, you can put the siren on and get out of the way, all that sort of stuff. I think later on you can actually possibly have your partner drive the car, which skips you to the destination. And again, I'm just trying to remember, I might be thinking of a different game. But if that is the case, then that'll mean that I won't have to do much editing. I can skip there and just sort of go straight there when I can get past these guys. No, I'm going to go on the pavement. Yeah, I've got to get rid of those notifications. But it still does look nice. Like I say, they have done a good job remastering it. Did take me a little bit to get through. I think I failed in the last part of this because I got a bit too excited and shot the suspect as he was running away.
Model 27 registered
in the leg.
American.
You know, I didn't kill him,
Chambered for
but it
357.
still cancelled it.
Nickel plated with pearl grips. Same gun used by General Pat.
You're not suggesting he's the owner?
No.
I'm not.
You seem to know a lot about the weapon.
I ought to. I sold it. You know, this piece will stop a rhino. These babies are only available special order. Here's my Smith & Wesson order book.
You mind if I take a look?
Be my guest. This is about something bad, right?
So now I've got to look through the order book
with
to try and match
grips,
up
Cole.
the gun
You see it on
description
there?
with the owner, and then go and see the owner. And I can't even think what I was going to say now. It's really thrown me with that cutscene put in there. Nope, completely gone. Anyway, so I'm going to look through the book and try and find the owner, and then we're going to go and visit the owner. And it like I say, this show just takes you through the various stages
203 South Glass Street. Ordered the gun in February
you
46.
know, it's just a tutorial, but it's quite an interesting way of doing it.
Thanks, you've been a big help.
Anytime.
Sort of shows
Always happy to help out the
snippets of
LAPD.
his rise to detective, you know, from beat cop to detective. Although I did get some of the controls a bit messed up here and there, but I've got used to it now, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the commentary on this one. With this video, I obviously recorded this, and I'm talking over it afterwards.
Not sure this
but I may start to do live commentary on it. I can't, well, obviously not with the next one because I've already done that one. But with the one after that, I may do it as live commentary. I'm not sure yet.
Owning the gun
figure
doesn't
it
prove
out.
he pulled the trigger.
Okay. In for a penny, in for a pound. Either way, Gunga Din.
And you know, it's got lots of little features that I liked about it. Like you don't have a map because you don't have GPS. So well, you do have a map. Sorry, but it doesn't guide you to your direction. Yeah, it's just told me to check the map and look where I'm going. And that's why I'm doing it. But yeah, it doesn't guide you. You just have to find your own way there. But as you're driving, you can press square, or what would it be on Xbox X? Yeah, I think it might be. And your partner will give you directions, so it'll say straight on, or you know, take your next left, right here, that sort of thing. So you just head in the general direction and occasionally ask your partner for details or for directions. But there are various, like I say, conversations and the odd cutscene, I think, while we're doing this. But I think in future I'm
That
probably
wasn't
going
so hard, was it? Just because we're in uniform doesn't mean we can't use our
to try
initiative.
and
I guess
just
so.
listen to what they're saying.
Seems a little too good to be true. One-of-a-kind murder weapon bought locally using a real name? If Schroeder's our shooter, he's no criminal mastermind.
Most of them aren't. That's why they get caught. 2 out of every 3 crimes are done on impulse.
Another fact from the Phelps Encyclopedia of Thin Air. You really are full of it.
There you go. Conversations like that. That's what I mean about, you know, I was thinking about skipping out a lot of the travelling, but when there's conversations like that, or that might be sort of pertinent to the case, it's whether to leave them in or not. So that's why I'm sort of going to have a little fiddle about with it over the first few episodes and try and sort of perfect how I'm going to do this one. But like I say, these will be uploaded on Saturdays from next week, because I can just get ahead with it, you know, get it edited, processed, and just ready for upload, or schedule it to, you know, upload it beforehand and schedule it to go live on a Saturday. Now, this is the guy that we suspect of doing the shooting. And this, you see, I think this is why I might do a live commentary on this one, because whereas now I know what's happening, and you know, I know what's coming, that sort of thing. Whereas if I do it live, you know, obviously I'll be trying to figure it out as I go. So yeah, that's why I might do it that way. But it doesn't use a lot of markers or anything like that. It uses chimes, as you can hear there. So if you're investigating an area and there's clues there, there's sort of music playing in the background. When you found all the sort of clues, the music stops, or well, dies down. And when you go near things that can be investigated, you will hear a chime, and it uses the sort of chimes and different notes to sort of denote whether you've made the right choice in interrogations as well.
What do you guys want?
I'm Officer Cole Phelps. This is Officer Dunn, Wilshire Division. You're the owner of a Smith & Wesson Model 27, nickel-plated with pearl grips?
I might be. What of it?
Then you'll be surprised to know that Scooter Payton was murdered tonight with your gun.
You're out of your mind. Scooter? He works for me. I have that gun here in my drawer. What the fuck is going on here?
You're under arrest, Schroeder. Cuff him, Ralph.
No way. You're not taking me down for this.
Now he's going to teach you how to fight on it. And I've got to basically knock this guy out and then take him in. And one more, there we go. Nice headbutt. He's done. And now searches apartment for clues.
I'm fine, I hardly felt it. He's lucky he caught me off guard.
But yeah, like I said, I think I will do live commentary possibly.
I'm going to take a look around.
Now, not everything is, you know, not everything you can investigate is a clue or relevant to the case you're working on. Sometimes it's just there to throw you off, or I don't know. Well, I suppose it's kind of like in real life, you know, they check everything, won't they, and then realise, you know, which is relevant and which isn't. But you can normally have a good idea of what's relevant and what isn't to the case just by having a wander around and seeing what you can sort of interact with. But then again, sometimes you're best off just checking everything just in case and letting him tell you whether it's relevant or not. You do also get, there's my voice going, you do also get a vibration on the pad as well when you get near a clue. But I did like this game because it was very different to anything else that was out at the time. You know, even though the way that it's done, the open world, you know, we've seen before, it was very different, the whole premise of the game. And like I said before, earlier on, it did have a good story to it. You know, it was really enjoyable. You sort of got into the characters, and you know, you had your people that you wanted to come out of it, and you had your people that you wanted to get the comeuppance, that sort of thing. It really kind of made you invest in them.
List of names and a series of numbers.
But it was very good with the facial capture at the time. I mean, it still looks good now.
Come out of this all bright and shiny
this
with
remastered version.
Or stick our schlongs in a hornet's nest. Call it in, partner, and leave the book where you found it.
Yeah, well, that was the name in the book that he mentioned.
That's 1247.
If you remember, I think that was the detective that asked you to look for the evidence at the beginning of this section.
You dumb fucking sons of bitches, get in this line now before I lose my temper.
Excuse me, Sergeant, but...
Excuse me? Fuck you. You say another word and I'll break your fucking head and have you in the brig.
Some of us are here for...
I know why you're here, asswipe. I'm having a bad day, Private. Some people don't seem to want to get on this bus.
Didn't ask for your help.
He didn't ask for your help. Can you believe this guy? Who are you two? Abbott and Costello?
We're here for OCS, Sergeant.
So it's the three fucking stooges and you're here for OCS. God help this fucking country and the USMC. The Japanese will do the world a favor and kill you quickly. All three of you are on report. What are your fucking names?
Phelps.
Kelso.
Merrill.
Any other gentlemen for OCS? OCS is at Elliott. You take the Camp Elliott bus over there. This bus is for MCRD. This bus is for men who want to fight.
Now, those flashbacks with the military, with the office training, that's to give you the background on Phelps and Kelso, I think it is.
Place, Cole. A city that needed an honest cop like a thirsty man needed water.
I'll be quiet.
You'd heard the stories, but you weren't interested. You were here to fight the good fight, solve cases, right wrongs. But the force is like politics. There's no sitting on the fence. You have to choose sides. A brown paper envelope or a Greyhound ticket to Palookaville. It could only ever end one way.
No, I don't mind talking over this bit. It's just going on about an armed robbery, but it's sort of the bit with the cop's name in the notebook. what it was just on about there, it's kind of setting the foundations for what's going to happen in the story. You know, you're going to be fighting corruption, which is sort of, it kind of runs through some of the cases. You know, you'll come up against it every now and again, and it sort of runs in and out and weaves in and out of the normal cases that you do. And it, you know, you do end up, you know, having to pick a side. Well, you don't pick a side as such. You're on the side of, you know, straight cop, you know, no corruption, that sort of thing. But this is the last part, or the last section of this video, and then it goes into the sort of training case, if you see what I mean. And this is essentially weapons training. Now, it's not, like I say, it's not like a lot of games that have done like Rockstar and whatever you. With GTA and things like that, the combat is a smaller part of this. You know, it's not one of those games where there are sections, you know, combat sections, and it, you know, it works for what it, you know, what it needs to. It, you know, it's all right. It's quite nice, but yeah. So these guys are robbing the bank, and basically, like I said, this is your weapons training, so I've got to go in and take them out. But this is coming to the end, so after this section, there'll be one more cutscene, again going back to the sort of military side of it and giving a bit more background on Phelps.
LAPD, put down your weapons. The bank is surrounded.
And then that'll be it. So in a minute I'm going to say goodbye, but for now I'm going to take down these bank robbers. Yeah, he provides a bit of a difficulty. You can adjust the aiming sensitivity, but I think if you have it, with this game anyway, if you have it a bit too sensitive, it makes it even harder. Because you can't just make those small adjustments that you sometimes need to. But there is a degree of auto-aim as well. Just trying to blind fire, it's telling me to do that. And once he's done, I think that's it. Yep, there we go. So it's going to go into another cutscene, which will just show these two chatting, and then it'll show, like I say, Phelps back in the military. So I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed that anyway, and you know, I know it's probably not going to be one of more popular videos, but I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I'm definitely going to enjoy playing it again.
Man couldn't ask for a better partner.
So I'll be back Sunday with another video. So until then, take care of that, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.
This kind of opportunity comes along once in a lifetime, Hank. I have to grasp it.
You have to survive it first, Cole. Here are the veterans. The Japs love to shoot officers.
If I can make a name for myself in this war, my future...
Thinking of taking on a company of the Emperor's finest single-handed? You don't seem the Sergeant York type to me.
When I need your opinion, Kelso, I'll ask for it.
They talk about officers like you in boot camp, Cole. They call it the Custer syndrome. Guys who go around dreaming of fame and glory and getting all of their men killed in the process.
Our duty is to lead, Kelso.
And their duty is to die for your wonderful future?
Cole Phelps and Jack Kelso. With some people, it's as simple as chemistry. Two guys who should have been friends, but their personalities got in the way. Phelps, a good guy, wound way too tight. And Kelso, a quiet man who could never walk away from a fight.
Well, it's a shame you don't like to talk about it, Cole.
Ralph, friends who want to stay friends don't discuss religion or politics. And in my case, you can add the war to that.
I know that bum. Wendell Bowers. I put him away before. He jumped parole. Get after him, Phelps. I'll head him off in the car.
Wendell Bowers! Stop! LAPD! You can go screw yourself. Why, you... He's hiding in the alley! Bowers! Hold it right there!
Stop now or I will shoot. I won't tell you again, Wendell.
Jesus, Dunn! Watch your fire!
You don't want to do this, Wendell. Get out from there right now. Give it up, Wendell!
Stay the hell away from me!
You've got to be kidding!
You fucking asked for it. There's no way I'm going back inside. I've done my time.
It's over, Bowers!
You assholes already screwed me once.
Give it up, Bowers! There's nowhere left to go!
Looks like we've got the place to ourselves.
How you doing, Wendell? Your parole officer's feeling lonely. He's got a hole in his life for an asshole like you. You can make it up to him in 10 years' time. Watch your head. This hump will be back in the Iron Hotel by tomorrow night. Nice work, Cole. You run track in high school?
Part of the tradition of the Marine Corps and being an officer in the Marine Corps is the ability to make tough decisions. The right decision is not always the popular one. The right decision will get the men you care about killed. These ratings and your ability to give them frankly and truthfully directly affect your chances of successfully becoming a Marine officer. Candidate Phelps, you have the floor. Esprit de Corps, Merrill, 10. Franklin, 8. Weiss, 8. Donahoe, 6. Kowalski, 6. Hudson, 5. Kelso, 2. Leadership, Donahoe, 8. Franklin, 7. Merrill, 6. Kowalski, 6. Weiss, 5. Hudson, 5. Kelso, 1. Candidate Kelso!
I'm sorry, Captain, but I joined the Marine Corps to fight the enemy, not get involved in this schoolboy chicken shit.
Kelso, in my office, now!